Hello everyone, this is Brendan Jarman with Bearcat Student Media. Today we're switching it up from my normal beat of thrifting and saving you money to talk about Bearcat football. Specifically, we'll be talking about the new gray jerseys that the team wore earlier this season against Jackson State. Now for those who didn't watch the game, the Bearcats lost, and if you haven't been keeping up, they're now 0-7 on the season, but this game it showed some promise to it. Jacksonville State won on a last second field goal, and it was a back and forth game all night. And on top of that, it really our offense was kind of slower to start than Jacksonville State's. One of Jacksonville State's starting running back, he had over 200 yards rushing, and we didn't really have anyone put up gaudy numbers like that on the offensive side, but I think we were able to stay in it just because we're a unit, and when teams start struggling like this, they're going to band together for that first win, and I think that's what happened against Jack State. We just unfortunately ran out of time, really. There was a big play from Chris Reed he caught a touchdown pass from Hunter Watson. That was a huge play for the Bearcats in that game, but now let's talk about those jerseys or the alternate jerseys. So those actually weren't really those were not the first alternate jerseys that Sam Houston has worn. They don't really switch it up a lot from the orange and white uniforms, but for the 2011 homecoming against Nicholls State, they actually wore camo jerseys, and it was camo with orange, black, and white, and then it also said Bearcats across the chest in blue. They actually won that game 47-7 against Nicholls State. It was October 17th, 2011. And I found some information on that game on a Today at Sam blog post. And according to that post, these jerseys were auctioned off on Sam Houston's athletic website, and the proceeds went to the Lone Survivor Foundation, which was established by Marcus Luttrell, a former Bearcat and Navy SEAL. And I read that I was reading on it, and I just wanted to see how much people were paying, and the bidding for those started at 100. And I was thinking about that, and if they did that with those gray jerseys that they wore, well, for one, I think now with us being, a little more uptight on spending since we're FBS, we don't have as much as a program like UT, so we really wouldn't do anything like that in the first place. But the bidding would definitely be a lot more than $100 if we did. But for those gray jerseys themselves, in my personal opinion, I really like them. It was definitely a huge change up from what you're used to seeing from Sam Houston football. And it was a color that really I don't think we've seen in any of the sports used. I don't think I've seen any gray baseball, basketball, softball, volleyball, anything jerseys. The only thing I can think of that's different like that I know of is I know soccer and volleyball. I know they have pink. I know volleyball has the pink practice Sam Houston shirts, just because when I'm working with the team and we were eating at the cafeteria during fall camp, we saw them up there a lot in those. And the football players actually really like those too. I heard some of them trying to actually buy it off of, telling the volleyball players that they would buy it off of them. But yeah, back to the Grays. I think it was like a new brand, like an opportunity to get more of a brand for Sam Houston, and I think it's something that it's the start of a new process, like a new image, a bigger and better image for Sam Houston. And as for like other students, other Bearcats, how they felt, here's how they felt about the jerseys.
I would like to say that I was really a fan of the uniform that Sam Houston State football team wore versus UTEP last game day. I feel as if we've never had a great uniform in Sam Houston State history. So for us to just change colors into gray from orange, I feel was a big step in our program.
Just from looking at the gray Sam Houston uniforms, it's kind of indicative of the season we've been having. I think we should just get some pop, you know? We don't need the product on the field to be boring and look boring. I think if you look good, you play good, and you feel good, but who says I'm feeling great? And that's a good thing, you know? So I don't know. We're moving all types of directions, but thankfully we'll be able to hit a new fresh reset for the season and we can get it all wrapped together.
I think the Grays brought a little bit more character to Sam Houston, allowing them to flip through 3 different uniforms. But the way they were brought in could have been way better and allowed for more fan involvement.
To be honest, my opinions on the gray Sam Houston State jerseys are they're gray, so they're mid. They're not really colorful, you know. They're just bland because they're gray. Not a huge fan. Could use some flair, some color.
So as you could tell, there was some negative and some positive about it. I also spoke to Rogan Henderson, who is the former associate athletic director at Sam Houston, and he is now at Appalachian State. And one big thing he really didn't like about the jerseys was the orange. He felt like the third color just kind of threw the whole jersey off, and he would have liked to see it with just the two colors. And I also spoke to Adonis Hintz, who is the equipment manager at Hawaii, and he served as the equipment manager at Sam Houston prior to being at Hawaii. And when I spoke with him, he basically wanted more branding on the jerseys. He said if it was up to him, he would have had the stripes along the side of the jerseys along with the TV numbers, which if you don't know, the TV numbers are the numbers you see on the sides of the shoulder pads, which are there for TV and for the announcers to see whenever they need to see someone's number. So if a guy's like sideways towards them, if that shoulder's showing, it's a lot easier to see. And then, yeah, even though, despite emotions being mixed about it, like I said earlier, I think it's a huge opportunity for Sam Houston to establish more of a brand, and stuff like that is what gets people here, whether it's football, any other sport in athletics, or just students coming to school here in general. If they don't really know the brand, they don't really know who you are or what you about. So even though it may have not been the most popular or favorite choice, the all grays, I think it was a step in the right direction. But one thing I definitely am interested about or wish that they would have done this season was the helmet decals like we saw the past few years. I know last year, I wouldn't say every game, but for probably half the season, they rocked the stripes on the helmet with the Sam Houston logo on the sides. I think that was hands down the most popular among fans, students, and players. I know the players really liked the stripes, and they liked it with the SH logo or the Walking Sammy, any of it really. And we didn't wear the Walking Sammy last year. It's been 2 years since we wore that, but I think that decal was popular, but I know it was a burden to put on. It was a lot bigger than the other logos. So, and it would like take a bunch of the paint too. So I know that's why they got rid of it and didn't use it last year. But my all-time favorite that I wish we would have had this year was the cats. And if you haven't seen that, it's kind of like in the 1990s New York Giants font. That's my favorite way to describe it. And to me, it's pretty basic, but it's just sharp. I honestly wish it was our primary. I wish they would have brought back the helmet decals. I think it could help build a brand along with revealing new jerseys like they did with the Grays. But all in all, I think I mean, I keep saying it, but it's a step in the right direction because it's establishing a brand. I've been at Sam Houston since 2021, and right before I got here, we had blue in the color scheme. Now we don't have it anymore. And right before I got here, the old SH, which granted I'm glad they changed it. I wasn't a fan of that one, but they also changed it here recently too, to where it's more like sideways now, I guess you could say. But I think once they have something established in a brand, it'll turn heads not just across the state, but across the nation. And that'll be all for me today. You can tune into the next Bearcats game on October 31st against La Tech. And La Tech will actually be wearing new jerseys that night too. They will be going with some all black jerseys, and that'll be the first time they've worn those. So it'll be interesting to see.